Hi, this is Wes Griffith, Product Specialist, Collier RV, Rockford, Illinois. Today we're going to take a quick look at one of our smaller Class Cs, the 2023 Coachmen Freelander 23FS. Got it all out in one breath. We'll take a quick walk around the outside. I'll point out a couple standout features, and then we'll take a look at the inside too, which has one thing that I really love. So we're definitely going to take a look at that. But I want to start outside here at the front. This is actually, as I mentioned, one of our smaller Class Cs, okay? But they do have it on the 450 Super Duty chassis. Why is that important? Well, one of the big things that means is it has more capacity. This actually has over 4,000 pounds of cargo capacity, which is just incredible. The stuff that you find out there in this size class on a 350 chassis is going to be somewhere about 1,400 to 1,700 pounds of cargo capacity. Basically, if you can fit it inside this thing, it's rated to carry it, which is fantastic. We'll take a walk around the the driver's side first. Huge mirrors, high quality, big glass. Stick far out so you get a really good view of everything. It of course also has backup cameras and all that sort of thing. Right down here you will have a Cummins Onan 4000 series generator, and that is sipping fuel right out of your main 55-gallon gas tank, so no worries about using your propane. You got to fill up propane and gas, and how long has the generator been running, all that stuff. It kind of takes care of that for you. There will be another little storage bin right about here underneath. And then Coachmen has always been very good about making things easy to service and work on for, at any point down the road. This is actually the back of the refrigerator, which we'll take a look at inside. It is oversized. But I really love that they just have a door here so you can easily get to it. You don't have to yank everything out if there's ever a problem, and you can also keep it clean. Pro tip, you should be cleaning that out a couple times a year. You don't want a bunch of dirt and dust and cobwebs and stuff building up in there. This is going to be more storage on the outside. This is underneath about a third of your bed. And the big thing that I love about the inside has to do with what's on the other side of that wall in this storage bin, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. Nice covered hinges, keep dirt, dust out of the hinge itself. And you also sometimes will get in, I've seen it before, you get into a situation where you get a little moisture in here and then it gets later at night and it freezes and breaks your hinge. Not gonna have that problem with something like that. Very thoughtful of them. In the back here, a huge storage bay. That is all nice, thick rotocast plastic, and you do have some drain holes in there too, so you can throw your wet camping gear, whatever the case may be, swimsuits, doesn't really matter, throw it right in there. When you get home, you can hose it out, and the dirty water will just drop down through the bottom holes. Does come equipped with a ladder. It is a fully walkable roof. Your standard bumper underneath, you will have hitching straight from the factory, along with all of your electronics right next to it, so you can tow the day you take it home. All LED lights inside and out. Right above the bumper over on the passenger side or camping side, you'll have cable input. Sometimes if the campgrounds are really nice to you, they'll give you free cable, get things, the regular cable channels, maybe they'll throw in HBO or something like that. Always a nice little bonus. Over here you will have your city water connection. So this bypasses your internal freshwater tank. Continuous water, basically. You hook up a garden hose from the campsite itself. Next to that, you will have your tank fill. So this fills up your internal tank if you're getting out there somewhere where they don't have water available. And on this side, you have your black tank flush. So this actually has little sprayers inside your black tank. That's where your toilet water goes. You hook up a hose to that and it will rinse it out to keep it nice and clean for you. And then final thing back here is you have an outdoor shower with both hot and cold water. Comes with a little shower head and a hose. The hose actually pulls out. It is much longer. And then you could stick the shower head in here to hold it for you. Huge awning, as big as they could possibly put on here with kind of your, nowadays it's standard, but it's still nice. Your LED strip light. This is another one of those maintenance items. So this looks like another outdoor shower. It's the same cover as the one on the back, but it's not. This is actually easy access to all your main water valves and your water pump and a few other things that are hidden back in there. You know, normally if anything like this would need to be serviced, you know, people are taking panels off underneath their sinks or, you know, trying to figure out where this stuff is. And I just love that they do little things like that. I did skip over, this is actually a quick disconnect to your main propane tank on board. So if you want to put a little grill or something out here, you don't have to bring a separate tank or buy those little 2 or 5 pound tanks that run out the first time you grill. You know, that always kind of sucks. Cable output, TV output, right? And then power. If you're gonna have a TV out here or whatever you wanna have out here, you do have 110 power available. They are dualies, as most of them are, but this does have another little trick up its sleeve as far as suspension goes. This comes from the factory with super springs. Will smooth out the ride for you. You know, you don't get as much rocking back and forth. It's just a better drive overall. So it's really nice to do that. A lot of people will put aftermarket Sumo springs, super springs on their units. You know, now you don't have to. It actually comes with it from the factory, has a factory warranty and all that cool stuff that goes along with getting it from day one. This is going to be your hot water heater, your furnace, and underneath here, I'll pull it open so you guys can see, although you've probably seen this before. They all kind of look the same. That's your big onboard propane tank. You can pull right into our service department. We'd be happy to fill it up for you. And of course, there are other places where you can get it done too. But that's where that is located. You also have solar input, so it is wired for solar. If you ever wanted to get really, really out there, that will plug right into a, you know, we typically call them a suitcase solar panel, little fold out solar panel. You fold it out, stick it where the sun's shining on it, and there you go, it's charging your batteries up. As we walk into the door, one of the things I want you to notice is these are not plastic steps. Almost everybody uses plastic steps to get into their units. This is powder coated metal. Very, very nice. A little bit higher quality, and it's a nice little touch that they do with their units that, again, I really like. Right inside the steps, as is typical for these Class Cs, you'll have a bunch of your controls. So you'll have your water pump and your hot water and your tank heater. Yes, it does have a tank heater, your slide control to slide the room in and out. Generator stop start, generator hours, check levels on different things. And then below that, some more light switches and your awning switch. Below that, this is equipped with electronic stabilizer jacks. So you can control those. And then below that, and by the way, that's also very rare on units this size. Usually you only find that on like 30 and 31 footers. Below that is your battery disconnect switch. And then you have everything has in the RV world, you'll have your little fuse panel that they all have. As we come inside, you're gonna have kind of your standard Ford Super Duty cab. You know, so you'll get things like cruise control and tow haul mode, gear holding, power door locks, power windows, your climate controls. You will have USB-C and USB-A inputs, you know, charge up your phones and stuff. Radio above that. One of the things that this unit does that I like is they put your rear view camera in your rear view mirror. So it actually comes up, if you put this in reverse, or you can turn it on whenever you want, but if you put this in reverse, it will automatically come up, and it gives you your rear view camera in that rear view mirror. That's where you're used to looking. So I just thought that was kind of a neat little thing that I would imagine a lot more manufacturers are going to start doing, because it just makes sense. And then all kinds of cup holders and cubbies and places to put things. There's more in the doors. Most of the stuff up here is kind of self-explanatory, right? It's a Ford Super Duty cab. You have your big skylight opening here up above your head, which is how I like to drive. And then of course you can turn this into a bed, or you can close it in more if that's what you want to do, or if you need this more room for storage, or whatever the case may be. And then you will have your swing arm TV, watch your step. So you can swing this out or put it back up against the wall and lock it down. As all of the Coachmans do, they give you the little magazine rack with USB and HDMI, right? So it's a great place to stick your phone. That way you don't forget it when you're walking out, and keep it charged up. You can also, that's an HDMI input for the TV system that's in here. So another way for you to get access to media inside the coach. There is a little pull-up power station here in the kitchen. A couple USB ports, a couple of more 110 outlets. And on some of their storage, well, the storage overall in this thing is just fantastic, but in some of them, they do what I would consider to be the right way to do it, right? So a lot of units will have, if they have a little side thing on the side of the sink, they'll give you a little cabinet door so you can put some stuff in there. But they actually go the extra mile and give you a couple of drawers. Metal ball bearings, you know, they're high quality. And then of course, if you watch my other Freelander video, one of the things that I love that they do is they put magnets on their cabinets, rather than those little fingers that can break and get bent and stuff and don't always work. And you know, sometimes the tension isn't right. You know, that magnet's going to work exactly like that 20 years down the road. So, you know, again, great idea from them. Huge stainless farmhouse sink. And this, by the way, is metal. That is not plastic. That's just painted to look like metal. So your fixture is metal too, which is certainly nice. Again, sticking with that durability. Big cabinets overhead, and there is nothing in between them. So anything that you can fit in this entire space, you can put in this entire space, which again is nice. Sometimes, you know, it gets a little awkward. You're trying to put something in the cabinet. It's just a little bit longer, but then this goes all the way back to the wall. Yeah, so that's nice. Again, with the magnets, very cool. Standard 3-burner stove. This happens to be of the Magic Chef variety. There are a bunch of different brand names out there, but they're all basically the same. You get the neat little lights around your burner dials, which is kind of cool. And then below that, you get a little bigger drawer, what I would probably call the pots and pans drawer. Above it, you get your standard RV microwave. Works well. I love frozen burritos, and that will definitely heat up a frozen burrito. We'll do the bathroom first, and then we'll take a look at the bedroom back here. So really well laid out for a bathroom. Keep in mind, this is one of the smallest Class C's out there. And you get a little space next to the sink. You get a much larger mirror. Right, so you're not just looking at from your chin up, unless you happen to be around 5 feet tall, and then you're looking at the top of your head. It's a much longer mirror. Little medicine cabinet, another cabinet underneath the sink. They actually put a towel holder on the wall, straight from the factory, which is nice. That's not always something that is done, and then you got to figure out where you can put the screws in and all that sort of stuff. Really good looking shower. It's a detachable shower head. You do have a heat duct in here, which is good. Again, that's not something that's always done. Now, it's a small unit, right? So You're not going to have a completely separate bedroom, so they give you a curtain, although I will say this is nice thick fabric. You know, it doesn't feel flimsy at all. Feels like something that, you know, I'd be happy to put in my home, so that's good. It matches the bedding well. Huge stack of cabinets above the bed. And on this wall, once they get past the bathroom, they give you a gigantic wardrobe with some shelves at the back of it there. And then if we can get a little peek, because they do those drawers again, but in much bigger fashion in this bottom cabinet, right? So how often do you actually get dresser drawers and a huge place to store more clothing and bedding and all that stuff that you need? You know, fantastic job by them. Nice big windows back here, including on the other side of the bed. But the trick to this bed and what gives this more storage than just about anybody else, besides that huge cabinet and drawers that we just looked at, is underneath the bed. Remember I said a third of it was outside. Well, the other 2/3 are inside. So you get 3 separate gigantic bins underneath the bed, and the bed will stay up by itself. It has a little locking mechanism once you lift it up. Put all your stuff that you're not going to use that often. Extra pillows, a couple of sleeping bags, you know, hiking boots that you're not going to be using because you're going to the beach this time. You know, stuff like that you're not going to use every time you go out. But you don't want to be loading up at your house and being like, oh my God, do we need to bring this? What about that? You can leave some of that stuff in here, right? You're not going to use sleeping bags in your living room. So you can probably leave those in here. And you'll, as you get out there and explore some more and go to different campgrounds and parks and enjoy this outdoors life, you'll find more and more stuff that you can leave in the unit because you like using it. There we go. Nice bedspread. And then of course there's a little more storage next to the bed. Nice and deep, goes all the way to the outside wall. And of course you have your oversized GE. This is a true 12-volt refrigerator, right? So a little bit deeper than what you're used to, a little more cubic feet in space than you're used to. Nice little things like can holders in the door. This will heat up. This will cool down quickly and it will hold temperature well. You can put your ice cream and other things in the freezer and it's not going to be half melted. You know, you don't have to worry about it. Love those 12-volt compressors. And then of course you have the huge U-shaped dinette. This does fold down into a sleeping surface, and then you have the huge bed up above the cab, so plenty of sleeping, and all these easily just come out. They are unzippable, so you can get some cleaning done if it's ever needed. A few cup holders back in the back corners. And then you'll have, you know, control of your lights within that area. Again, massive window, which is super cool. This is also, you have the WineGuard 360 system built in. If you want to get Wi-Fi and 4G LTE, no matter where you are, it's a simple matter of getting their little box that plugs right into this. If you take these 2 screws out, you pull this off, you put the box right on it, and away you go. It's pretty darn simple to do. The last thing I'm going to point out, and for those of you that aren't in the industry, you may say, well, why is he even taking the minute to do this? Because it's really cool and because it's a problem that people have had many, many times in the past. So if you look at this table, look at this leg, right? Big cast metal, you know, big metal screws to lock it down. 6 giant lag bolts holding the foot down, and a much larger and much thicker table leg than you will typically find. You know, they're almost made out of tin in some of these units. This is going to be much more stable. It's going to last you a lot longer. You're not actually going to, bump into it and rip it out of the floor because there's only 3 screws in it, and they're little drywall screws or something like that. Well-made little unit. I think that this would be great for a couple that occasionally brings some kids or grandkids with them, or maybe has an occasional overnight guest. It's going to be easy to drive around, easy to park, easy to pull into campgrounds. You're not going to get excluded from campgrounds because it's too big, and it just works, which is very good, and it's at a great price. If you want to know more, if you have more questions, if you'd like to take a look at the Freelander 23 FS or any of our other units here at Collier RV, give us a call. Again, my name is Wes. Thank you.